That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone, and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. Well, that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow.
Move
For a
that.
second there, I thought I was going to try to live type the intro theme. I couldn't even get the first word out. It's like, I don't know. My fingers are way too slow. Duke is way too fast.
Yeah, that's a fast song, man. That's like Eminem style rapping in there. A lot of words in those phrases.
You think I'd know it by now?
You should. Yeah. And half of the lyrics in that song I don't think are relevant to anything we do today, but that's fine. It's all good. I don't think we've talked about amiibos in a very
I
long time.
keep meaning to ask, do they still make those?
I think so.
Do you use them on your Nintendo Switches?
I think so. I think so. That's
I know I still see them occasionally. There's a like a shop over here that it's pretty much a rental shop for DVDs and stuff, but they still have some gaming things, and I see amiibos. I just don't know, is that like old dead stock, or are they making new ones?
I mean, they have, if they're still making them, they have to be compatible with the Switch, right? Because before that was the DS and the Wii U, and those consoles are both gone, so it has to be still around.
Yes, it's just when I see them, it's like I'm pretty sure they're the same sculpts, the same amiibos that have been around for what, 10 years now? Like the same Mario and Sonic and things like that.
I don't know. I have no clue.
What do you mean you don't know? This episode's called Toys. No, now it's
I
called
changed
the
it.
dumbest DVD pickups.
The
No, we're
dumbest.
talking about toys.
I do. I had. Don't worry. I got toys.
Okay.
I got toys that have been sitting here for like 2 months. Every time
goodness.
I mean to get to them, I completely forget. And now that like they've been sitting on the desk for so long, they just become furniture. You know, like
Right.
they were in the way. Now they're part of the desk. And I really got to get to them so I can put them on display. Get them out of here. These are the kind of toys that I would put on display, Richard.
Oh, nice. All right.
Anyways, this is episode.
I'm with you either way, because I want to hear about your toys, and I also have a dumb DVD pickup.
I want to say the episode number is 227. So I can do my
227.
thing. 227. I remember that show with Jackie.
Oh yeah. Every time that number pops up for some reason, I love saying 227.
Sure, yeah.
And nobody understands, and I always tell my wife, like, no, it's this old TV show. Really, it means something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good show. The old lady that would sit in the window, and she would have the best lines.
That was like my favorite part of the show, is just them hanging out on the front steps.
Yeah. It was a vehicle for, I can't remember her name, but she played the maid on the Jeffersons, right?
Right. I forget the actress's name.
But that was like her, after the Jeffersons got canceled, that was her next vehicle, and she was the star for this one. And as far as I know, well, Sherman Hemsley, he did have Amen. That was a pretty big hit as well. So yeah, there was a couple of actors from the Jeffersons that went on to have some after Jefferson success. All great shows. Those are all shows people should watch. The Jeffersons, Amen, and 227.
Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs. I knew that. I just forgot.
We all knew that.
Yeah. Great actors. I think she passed away though not too long ago.
Hal Williams, who played the husband. I didn't know his name, but boy, was he recognizable every time you saw him in something else. It's like, oh, there he is.
And he would pop up in a lot of things. Yeah, for sure. See, that's what Retro Fandango is about. Remembering stuff that nobody cares about.
We actually lived up to the name, right?
Yeah. That was a Retro Fandango right there. Okay, well, let's see. What should I get to first? The dumb DVDs or the toys?
Whoa. What's
what did I do?
I don't know. You sound like a Star Wars character.
Do I still
sound like Princess Leia?
I sound like Princess Leia.
You sound like Princess Leia in the bounty hunter costume.
Aren't you a little
Just for a
short for a
second there.
stormtrooper? Oh wait, that's the wrong. What did she say? Someone who loves you,
Well,
right?
that's Jedi. Yeah, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? Is what she said not too long after her whole planet got destroyed. You know?
Yeah, there was somebody that posted something about that. How she's like comforting Luke on the Millennium Falcon because he lost his friend that he met like 3 hours ago. Meanwhile, her
Yeah,
entire planet was destroyed. Her entire family was wiped out.
yeah.
He's the one that needs comforting.
What a terrible movie.
You know, I was watching a thing on Return of the Jedi and how um George Lucas really wanted that movie to be a vehicle for toys.
Oh yeah.
And the original concept was that they were supposed to go they were supposed to make two. The Empire was working on two Star Destroyers. Actually,
Hmm.
apparently the Star Destroyer thing was supposed to be the original ending of Return of
Excuse
the
me.
Jedi. Yep.
Death Star,
What did I say?
Star Destroyer.
There was a movie apparently with Star Destroyer lasers. I don't think I saw that one. But anyways, yeah, one of the movies they put star lasers on Star Destroyers that could destroy planets.
Okay.
Anyways, the Death Star. There was the Death
Are you
Star
talking
was
about a concept movie, or does that happen in one of those
one of
Disney
the
movies?
movies that came after the one that Rian Johnson did. I'm guessing, unless it was in Han Solo or I don't know. I have
I haven't seen the last Star Wars one yet.
I both the last two or three I have not seen. It's just a series that has it no longer appeals to me on any level. It's all just check mark.
Yeah, we've
Let's
been
not
through
go
this.
down. Okay.
We've been through it.
Anyways,
Let's
so
talk about Star Trek.
wait. I just want to get this thing out about Return of the Jedi because I thought it was interesting. So apparently in George Lucas's thing, he had those three movies kind of penciled out on what he wanted to do, and the Death Star was supposed to be at the end of Return of the Jedi. When he got the okay to do Star Wars, he thought, "Oh, I'm not going to have another opportunity to make a Star Wars movie. This might be it. So I'm going to just put my good ending into the uh, into the end of this movie, Star Wars, A New
Mhm.
Hope." That was later come to know. So that was not supposed to be the original ending. And then when it came time to do Return of the Jedi, he just didn't have any ideas, so he just kind of decided to make it the Death Star again. And he's like, well, maybe I'll do two Death Stars. And there was a guy that was working on Empire Strikes Back. I can't remember his name, but apparently he was in like he would be the guy that would stand up to George Lucas and say, "Oh, these are kind of stupid ideas. You should do it this way or whatever." So the last thing he did before he got fired because he went over budget. I think he was the producer of Empire Strikes Back, but apparently he got fired because he went way over budget with Empire Strikes Back, and Fox did not want to go over budget for Return of the Jedi. So
You figure by that time they'd give him a little wiggle room. Like, hey, you made us a couple of $1 million here.
yeah, but I guess it's still like early '80s, right? Like I don't know. I guessing that it wasn't. You'd think it would be bank. You'd think it would be like easy money. Like you're making a Star Wars film, it's going to be, but apparently it wasn't. I don't know. Anyways, he went way over budget with Empire. So, but before he got fired, the two things that he did was one that he convinced George Lucas to change the name from Return of the Jedi to Revenge of the Jedi, which then George Lucas, after the guy got fired, switched back to Return of the Jedi. And then
Okay.
the other thing he did was talk him out of having two Star Destroyers or two Death Stars. Sorry. That was his idea to one up like the previous film he was going to have. And the guy was like, no, that's really a dumb idea. Just have one Star Destroyer again. And
Death
then, but
Star.
Death Star. Stupid. Let's go back to Star Trek. You're right.
We got to retitle this episode.
Okay, so I got to get to this one last point. So, but at the end of his original thing that he had fleshed out, that Luke's had fleshed out for all three movies, the Death Star was supposed to be around this moon of Endor, and the planet or the inhabitants of the moon of Endor was supposed to be Wookiees, and it was
Right.
Wookiees
Yeah.
that were fighting, and that kind of made more sense that Wookiees would be able to stand up to all of these Imperial stormtroopers, right, instead of these little teddy bears. But the problem was is that they had made Chewbacca and too sophisticated of a character.
Mhm.
He became less and less of Han Solo's pet and more of a character of his own. Like he wasn't just co-piloting the ship, although that's pretty sophisticated, but he was also like fixing things and would come up with things and all that. So that's where Lucas had this. He didn't want to give up that concept because he knew that these characters that he would create would sell toys. So he decided to like make them even more cute and cuddly, and that's how we ended up with Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Not because it was some sort of amazing thing that Lucas thought would make sense. He thought, oh, I could sell a lot of toys because he had all the licensing rights for those movies, right? So I found that to be very interesting.
I mean, you can see where Lucas was absolutely becoming much, much more of a businessman than a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Even in those first couple of movies. I think it still could have went better with Wookiees. I mean, they ended up doing that in one of the prequel movies, right? You got the Planet of the Wookiees.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
it could
think
have been very easily explained with like, oh, Chewbacca, wanted to leave his homeworld and learn this stuff, but they prefer to keep a simple lifestyle. Could have
Chewbacca
explained it
has the
away real quick.
Force. Chewbacca has the Force. That's why he's so smart.
Yeah, Force Chewie. And I mean, you can see the decisions were coming pretty fast. The reason they're called Ewoks is just because it was a reworking of Wookiee.
Oh, I didn't even
Wookiee
know it. Yeah,
Ewok.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Wow. Well, there you go. So there you go. There's
whatever.
your
That was
Star
another
Wars
toy.
talk. Your Star Wars talk once again.
To his credit, though, I'm pretty sure over the years, Lucas has probably sold more little teddy bear Ewoks than he has Wookiees.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were designed to be sold to children, and it
Yeah.
worked. Like he made a lot of money off of it. And like you said, he was becoming a businessman. Like he didn't not just in franchising of Star Wars toys, but he also was doing the ILM stuff. He was coming up with like all sorts
Mhm.
of business ventures other than making films, and making movies was kind of like,
This is
low on his,
hard.
yeah, like he just didn't really, that's why he didn't make one forever in a day, like he didn't make anything after Return of the Jedi. He kind of hung around with Spielberg for some Indiana Jones stuff,
Right. He
but then
worked
he
more
didn't.
as a producer. He was the idea guy,
He did Howard the Duck, right?
which I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that came out what, 85?
Yeah, but even that, he didn't direct it. He was just a producer on that
Oh,
again.
okay.
Um, Indiana Jones movies, Willow.
Oh, Willow,
Um,
that's right. Yeah, I knew there was one I was forgetting. Willow was still like what, 87?
88.
88. So was that his last one until Jar Jar Binks?
Didn't he? Wasn't he involved with television? The
Oh, maybe
things like
like the Ewok adventure
was that?
movies.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously he got some of those things done. There was the Indiana Jones TV series, like the
Yeah.
Young Indiana Jones
Although I
Adventures.
don't know how much he actually did. I think like
Right.
Spielberg
Well,
just
he
like
he had
having him
he
around, and
attended a couple of meetings. He put his name on it. But
yeah.
all right, I still got my Wikipedia open. We go from
Do it.
227 to George Lucas.
This is what podcasts have become. People looking up stuff online. Unprepared people
Yeah.
looking up stuff online.
Well, you know what? But at least we admit it. We're not trying to pass this off as like, we just read off Wikipedia and say, oh, like I had this knowledge in my head.
No, we have
Uh,
no knowledge in our heads. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, filmography, directed features. You got THX 1138, American Graffiti, Star Wars, the original, and then the prequels.
Yeah,
The
so he
only
didn't direct the
things he
film,
directed.
right?
Right. Um,
Sauce is here.
it doesn't have all his producer credits on here. Um, Empire, then Twice Upon a Time,
Nah, I don't know what that is.
1983 animated adventure that he was executive. He's executive producer on a lot of this stuff. Labyrinth, Howard the Duck, Willow,
Sauce wants to know for bad
Pucker, The
mouthing
Man in the
Lucas.
Stream.
Pretty much, yes. On brand.
Oh, he was executive producer on The Land Before Time.
Okay, that's something.
Um,
The executive
Indiana
producer could
Jones.
mean anything. Could mean that he just like looked at some
He
drawings and said, "Yeah, that looks pretty good.
said,
I think kids would like
"I'll
that."
give you some money. I'll make a few phone calls.
Executive producer can
Not too
mean
much,
anything.
yeah. But he's got a few. He's got a couple of billions in his pocket, so
He
he's
does.
doing all right.
He just he knows what he's doing. Just doesn't
He's
know
got
how to
them
make
Disney
movies.
dollars.
Okay. What do you want first? You want my dumb DVDs or do you want my toys? My awesome toys.
Well, let's go with the toys.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So these things have been sitting here for a while. I'd say about 2 months ago, I was I helped a friend do a table at a convention. Oh, Sauce says toys. So, Sauce, you're not gonna like these toys. These are definitely for Richard. So I yeah, so I helped a friend out at a convention, and he had
Gaming convention,
no.
whatever
It was
convention.
like a retro convention. There were a lot of video games
Okay.
there, some music. People had cassettes, records, and toys. And the
So these
table
are
that
old toys.
the
You're
table
not.
that
You're
we
not.
were running had nothing but vintage toys or retro toys on there on the table.
Okay, all right. For a minute there, I was afraid you're gonna pull out some more of those Funko Pop nonsense things.
I don't think we had any Funko Pops out. I don't know
Okay.
if I. Yeah, that people did. People
Are
were
those
selling them.
considered retro? I'm thinking like 1972 toys here.
Retro. So like for I'm going with like the literal definition of retro, which is like something new that's made to look old, right? So like those new
Oh, okay. All right. My
He-Man
mistake. I
figures,
was
those are
thinking
retro.
vintage toys. You're
There,
talking
there
about.
were there are vintage toys there as well, and that's what I got. I got me some vintage toys.
Okay.
Now we were wrapping up. Sarah and I were wrapping up watching a while I was doing this convention. We were almost finished watching this series, and there was one character that Sarah absolutely loved in this series. Every time this character would come on the screen, she would just light up. And they had his action figure on the table. And I looked at it and I said, Sarah would really like that. And he's like, take it. Like, you sure? He's like, take anything from this box. And there was a whole bunch of stuff in this box that I at first I was like, well, no, I'm just going to take this one for Sarah and I'm going to leave the rest there. But then as the day grew and the stuff was just sitting there and nobody was picking up, I was like, I felt compelled to rescue some of this stuff. So do you have any guesses what it is that I might have picked up?
This is a vintage character.
Yes.
From a television show.
Yes.
That you both enjoy. All right, give me a few hints about the TV show. Give me like a decade.
Okay, late 80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s,
Well
early
done.
90s.
Did they ever make action figures based off of a sitcom?
It's not a sitcom. There's another big
Yeah,
hint.
I'm just thinking in general. You never see like a Steve Urkel action figure, do you?
I've never seen a Sherman Hemsley action figure.
Or like a Fonzie or
It's Archie Bunker with judo chop action.
That's a completely untapped market then, isn't it? Shouldn't they be making action
For
figures
us,
based off of old sitcoms?
yeah,
Yeah,
we would
all
be
these
the ones
middle-aged
buying
people
them.
will buy them up.
I think that's what Funko Pops kind of are.
I guess,
Yeah,
but yeah, like you said, Archie Bunker with judo chop action. That could
yeah,
be fun.
that could be.
Late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s. The series that Sarah and I just watched not too long ago. We
Late.
we finished it up. We were about 2 months ago. We
Oh,
finished it up.
next gen.
That's correct. Have any
Okay,
guess? So there was an action figure on the table. Do you have any guess which character it was?
that Sarah enjoys every time he shows up.
Every time. So you already got a hint. It's a he. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm guessing every time he shows up means fairly infrequent, so not a regular cast
Oh,
member.
very regular. It's like she was she was delighted a lot. So he's a regular
Oh,
cast
okay.
member.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Who would Sarah's favorite character be? Riker?
Nah.
No?
No, in fact, Riker
Come
kind of
on,
grossed
he's
her
so
out
suave.
sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's so suave. Worf.
You are correct, sir.
All right.
With his
Wow,
batleth.
look at that.
I know this is great
Nice.
audio for people listening, but yeah, I got Sarah
Oh,
a
but that is one of the
vintage.
classic who did those? Playmates?
Uh, I'm not sure. Make me look at the bottom of the foot.
Oh, I can't
Oh,
remember
it's not
now.
enough light.
They made that line of figures for like, I don't know, 20 years or something.
Yeah. Anyways, we got yeah. So I got a Mr. Worf with the batleth, and then he also had this sword. I don't remember this sword.
Okay. That's just like, hey, we could add something to the package.
And then the Klingon knife.
Uh, so oh wait. Okay.
You know
Okay.
that Klingon knife.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes.
these
Okay,
things
I
are
see
supposed
it.
to pop out, but you know.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then good old trusty tricorder. So
Wow, he came with everything. This
made
is
with
great.
everything. Yeah, in a little baggie. So there's that.
Hmm.
And a stand too that says Worf on it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So you can put
You're all set.
his feet on there and things. So I saw that there and I'm like, okay, no, I'll get that one for Sarah.
Hmm.
And then there was other stuff there, and I'm like, oh dang. Oh dang. Here we go. We're going down this avenue. We're not supposed to be, but here we are. So we got myself, Dr. Crusher,
All right.
with her medical bag.
Okay. All the accessories seem to be the same color.
Yeah, they pretty much are.
They
So
just
she
didn't
came
feel
with her
like
medical
painting up
bag.
those.
I'm not sure. I think this is like her. She had like a medical pad that she'd come out with once in a while.
A
Really
medical
good.
pad, I guess I get, but yeah, did she ever have a medical bag that she wore
Yes.
over her shoulder?
Yep. Yep.
She
She did.
did.
And her
Okay.
tricorder. Now the reason
Mm.
why, so what got me down, like, so when I saw her there, and I had Worf, and I'm looking at Worf, and I'm looking at Worf's tricorder, and it's got like the empty hole there because his was just, and
Mhm.
I'm like, I wonder if Dr. Crusher would have the medical tricorder, and she does. She's got the attachment in there, so that's
Nice.
worse. And that, so I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I got those,
Hey, they Star Trek, they know their details.
and I got 3 more here. I kept in the package. I haven't even opened them yet. I've been
Oh,
saving them.
okay.
I've been saving them for this. So here we
Now,
got,
so you opened those.
yes. Yeah, they were all
Okay, I
packaged
thought
for me.
these were all loose figures. I thought they looked pretty
No,
good.
they weren't like bubble. They were like repackaged, like store repackaged. You'll see in a
Okay.
second when I show you the next one, which is Mr. LaFour.
Hey, it's Jordy.
So yeah,
Jordy
that's,
with no visor?
well, let's see what's in the package.
Okay.
See, this is what's fun. I'll get
Oh,
some
yeah.
audio for the people listening, because I know that they're just like
Oh, yeah.
thrilled to hear us talking about this stuff, and there's nothing to see.
The
So
sound of that package just got the hair on Steven's neck going up.
people love to hear the sound of my package. So here is Mr. LaForge.
Yes.
And let's see, what do we got in here? Here, getting this. Let's see, we have some weird big crystal.
Oh, it's something that Jordy might investigate.
I guess so.
Oh, wait, no. Dilithium crystal.
Dilithium, of course. See, that's why I have Richard here. I never would have got that. Of course, Jordy would need dilithium crystal. And we have a phaser that's actually firing.
Oh, cool.
So Worf gets knives, but Jordy gets a phaser that's shooting. There's some tools here for working on the ship.
Okay.
That thing and that thing.
Oh, yeah.
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 You know those things
Those
that he would
things.
and
They look like things.
Jordy has a pouch as well.
Jordy's
Or a waiter.
accessories are a different color than Worf's and
This is true.
Beverly's.
This is true. And yes, we do indeed have Jordy's visor. It's like
Excellent.
a little toenail. And let's put it on Jordy. Will it fit?
That's right. Accessorize your little toys.
Steven is like, oh my God, is it going to fit or not? I don't know. Yeah, there we go.
Rocket Sauce, you've gone quiet.
Look at that. Sauce. That's a Jordy
Nice.
LaForge with his visor on. It's
The
got a
one
little.
thing about those figures that's always gotten me is they all have this like kind of He-Man muscle pose arm action going on.
Oh, I just lost his visor. Oh no.
Oh, we can't see.
I'll have to cut off a toenail and make a new one. Jordy, you can't see. Okay, that's why
It always kind of creeped me out when Jordy would take off his visor and he would just like have, the little blinking things on the side and
Yeah.
he couldn't see. His eyes are all weird and everything. I always thought that was very effective whenever he took that visor off. He looked completely like
it was different looking for sure. Okay, that's it for the main cast from this series. We have
you really have put yourself in a position here because you've got 3 members of the crew. You are going to be on a hunt. There's no way you can look at Jordy, Worf, and Beverly and not need the other 4. And then you're going to be like, well, do I need a Wesley? Do I need this character? Do I need
Nobody
that
needs a
character?
Wesley. What you do need
You
though,
might-
you need an enemy for these guys to fight. So who was the biggest enemy that the next generation had to stand up against?
Borg?
That's correct. So you need a Borg drone.
Wait, that's not just a Borg drone. That's
not
Hugh.
No, I don't think so.
That's Hugh.
No, Hugh would have a little smile. I'm Hugh.
That looks like Hugh.
Here, let me take him out of the package.
Ask Jordy. He would know.
I don't think that's Hugh.
I think that's Hugh. The placement of the headpiece, that looks like Hugh.
I think the camera's playing tricks on you because when you look at it, that does not look like Hugh. I think the camera is not. I need my camera to focus. There. Look at that. That's not Hugh.
I
Nah.
see Hugh.
Nah, he looks more like Leonard Nimoy or something. He doesn't look like Hugh.
Did Spock just do a little cameo as a Borg in one episode?
Yeah, maybe. So he also comes with a pipe because it's not a crack pipe. It's just a regular, I don't know, hose. Maybe it's a hose and a pipe. And he comes with another arm, so he could take his arm.
Okay,
off.
I am calling myself correct here. You Google Playmate Star Trek Hugh, and you're gonna see that figure.
It does not look like Hugh to me. But you know what?
I do have my only Star Trek figure is I do have a Borg somewhere, and it looks completely different than that one.
There's a Playmate Toys, 1992. Number 255863.
255863.
863. Yep. Is that the Hugh figure? It doesn't look like Hugh to me.
All right. I'm just gonna write in Playmate Star Trek 255, and like I'm getting oh, actually I got Leonard Nimoy with the gloves on from
Oh yeah.
Replicon.
Nice.
He's got big Mickey Mouse gloves. It's kind of cool.
So
But I'm pretty sure that's Hugh.
he gets a little laser on his Borg accessory, and
See,
then
why would they give a regular Borg drone a little fancy laser like
he
that?
can switch it with his hand. Because all the Borgs had lasers. Okay, now let's see if he can get this one, because this has to be out of all of them. This is the most kitsch. This was like a moment in one episode of The Next Generation.
Oh boy.
This character was featured in just a moment. But still, this moment was so memorable, I guess, so iconic, that they decided that they needed to capture it and celebrate it with its own action figure.
You got to give me some kind of hint here.
It's not a member of the crew.
Naturally.
Of this series. It's not a member of the crew from this series.
Okay.
That's a pretty big hint. It's
that's it.
He's not from somebody. He's not from. It's a he.
So,
and he's not. He was not a member of the crew in this series.
Okay, so you're talking about somebody from either the original series, DS9, or possibly even Voyager, who did a guest appearance on Next Gen.
There were a few actors that were playing characters on the Next Generation, like they might have been an alien or something like that.
Right.
That did end up on, like I think Neelix. I think he was a Ferengi in one episode. And
right. Tim Russ was like a Klingon. Tom Paris was the Tom Paris who was not Tom Paris.
Yeah. And even Tim Russ did show up as a Vulcan at some point. He was in a couple episodes. So they did it. But there was He was in Star Trek 6?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, he was, yes. Anyways, but no, it's not anyone from Voyager. I can tell you that. It's not anyone from Voyager.
So you could have well, Spock and Scotty, they were there for more than just a moment when they did their cameos. McCoy was there for one scene.
That's true.
Does that count as a moment? Or are you talking about like a 2 or 3 second moment?
I'm waiting for your guess, sir.
I'm
hearing you working it out.
All the options here.
I
kind of want to say Old Man McCoy, because that was more of a brief moment than the others. Or we could go to DS9. A couple of the characters did, like Bashir and Cisco did have their little moments.
That's
Quark,
right.
did talk to Riker. O'Brien was absolutely there for more than a moment.
He definitely overlapped, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Old Man McCoy.
Is that your final answer?
It's my only answer because I need more information. There's just too much going on in that show.
Well, it turns out that you had plenty of information, because you are 100% correct. It is
McCoy.
Captured that one moment in that one episode, or that moment in Encounter at Farpoint. Captured. Like, what kid is like, oh, I want a Dr. McCoy from Encounter at Farpoint, the old man.
Well, there's one kid for sure.
So we have Dr. McCoy Old man McCoy here.
You know what actually might be nice to do is to take your old man McCoy figure and get the old Spock from the J.J. Abrams
Oh,
films, and you can have them be grumpy old men having conversations.
and you probably get Shatner in there too. So old man McCoy comes with a medical pack. Actually, his arm doesn't bend because of the medical
That
pack.
that
So
looks
it's like,
just like Dr. Crusher's bag.
actually, you know what? I might swap these and give this to Crusher because this looks more like something she would carry than
Right?
that
It
red one.
matches her outfit a bit more.
But
You got to
apparently,
accessorize your dollies.
my buddy went online and found out all the accessories to make sure that they all went to the right. So, and I believe him because because of the whole medical tricorder separation. So I believe
Sure.
him. Anyways, Admiral McCoy gets
Okay.
his stand. Then he gets some sort of medical pad. Some sort of medical pad there.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a blue medical tricorder. A blue medical tricorder.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case you're in trouble, he's got you covered with a hypo spray. Psh,
Ah,
there
okay.
you go. There you go. Whee! Wasn't that fun? So those are my
That was.
Star Trek The Next Generation toys.
Anything else?
That's it. That's not
Got me
enough.
so excited here. No,
Got everything
I wish I
from
had.
Worf to old man Dr. McCoy. Who'd win in
I
a
wish
fight?
I had some toys to show myself.
Yeah. Can you believe I had
Uh,
those sitting here for like so long? Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's like, how could you not talk about that?
Worf did
I
come
can
with
show you
a
this.
phaser as well.
When I was a kid, I had one Star Trek: The Next Generation action figure, and it wasn't that line. They were smaller, and they were little, stand up straight kind of a figure. And they all had like phasers permanently sculpted into their hands.
Oh,
So I had a Geordie from that series. I don't know who made it, but that was the only figure I ever had. I don't know why I didn't get the rest.
well, I didn't have any of them, and now I got 5. So there you
Oh,
go.
well, I could show you this. I have my little Gizmo bobblehead.
That's cool.
Ooh, hey. And I have 5 of these too.
That's cool.
That's all I got.
What more do you
Want
need?
to see I guess some silly putty. See some
No,
silly putty.
that's okay. If you start sculpting silly putty, we're definitely done. It's done. It's over.
I don't know. Okay, well, I'm ready for some dumb DVDs. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, before we get to dumb DVDs, I'll just say, right now they got the I'll do some old man stuff, a little combination, a little gaming old man stuff.
That sounds
I
fun.
just want to say I'm actually interested in the current autumn sale they got going on Steam.
I
It's
bought
been a
a few
long
things.
time. It's been a long time since I bought anything on one of these sales because I just, I don't sit down and play the games as much. Um, and I know I'm just going to say, oh, that's only $1. Great. Now I spent $1.
Yeah.
And it's just going to sit there for like 3 years before I even think about touching it. But some stuff is going on pretty cheap. And I'm like, all right, well, for like $20, whatever, I can get myself a handful of things and just feel good about myself. So
Why
I'm
not?
thinking about that. I don't know.
you
I could
haven't
actually
done it
buy
yet.
I could actually buy something I'd use instead, but who knows?
Right.
Anyway, the old man part of this is I've noticed that every time there's like a Steam sale now, they put up like a big graphic on the homepage,
Yeah.
like a big hey sale, whatever. Everything is always like some anime character. I don't know if that is like an actual game character or is that just a created thing, but somebody's got a hankering for the anime over there. It's like
I never noticed. I just see autumn
I,
sale and I just go to my wish list. I I honestly, when it comes to Steam and all that stuff, where you do the uh, I don't even know, like you get experience points and all that stuff. Like I have completely ignored it. I
Mhm.
don't understand any of it. I got into it like once in a
Oh yeah.
while, but then by the time it comes time to do something with it again, I've completely forgotten, and I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Like those award things, like go on the thing and choose the best games, and it's like I don't know. I don't think I've played a game from this year, from 2024. I
Oh yeah.
might have, but I don't think I have.
There's like cards and things. I have no idea what any of that stuff is. I don't
Yeah,
care. All I know is I bought a game for like $2 and I
yeah,
want the game. Don't
yeah,
bother me with anything else.
yeah,
I don't know. It just seems like every time there's anything, it's always an anime style now. It's like
yeah.
the old style animation of like GI Joe era animation is just
Well,
completely forgotten.
I think they got it figured out. They know what to put on their page that will get them the
Oh,
most
absolutely.
sales.
I'm sure
So
it's what
yeah,
sells and everything. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. Big eyes still bother me.
Well, a lot of the stuff from our generation was technically Japanese animation, right? Like,
Yes, but the visual style.
yeah,
I don't like the giant heads and the eyes and the funny
yeah,
colored
okay,
hair and all that stuff.
right, right,
Uh, Not my animation, darn it.
right. I did buy a few things. I hope that people got their copy of Dark Sector for free.
I
That's free.
did because only because you pointed it out.
It's free for another. If you're watching this before November 30th, yeah, it's still free. If you're listening, you're out of luck. Um, but yeah, I've been playing through that, and it's okay. It's like, the guy has like a blade on it, like a circle blade that he can throw. That's given to him by
Mhm.
some alien. It's
Like Xena?
kind of like Xena, or like Krull, more like Krull.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
And the problem is that they give you this thing, and you can use it to like chop off heads off enemies or their arms or legs or whatever. But it's kind of clunky, and you also have guns, and the guns are
Mhm.
just way more effective. You just switch over to gun and start shooting guys instead of using that thing. You can use it to like solve some puzzles and that kind of thing, but to me that's like a big, like if you're given that kind of thing in a game, that's the thing that's supposed to stand out. That's the thing you want the player to use the most throughout the game, more than anything else,
Sure.
right? Like the anti-grav gun in Half-Life 2. Like that
Mhm.
was, like it was really fun to use. It wasn't cumbersome or anything like that. Yes, you'd use guns a lot in it, but there was parts in that game where it's like it was just,
It made sense to use it a lot of the time. It was
yeah,
more
like
than even just being fun. It was practical.
especially if you found one of those blades, those saw blades
Yeah,
and you
saw
pick that up,
blades
the
or the
anti-grav gun.
radiators and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like that stuff was, so I could tell they were trying to do that. Anyways, the game's free, so what the heck? I'm about halfway through it now. It's fine. It's okay for free. I wouldn't spend more than $1 on it or something like that. But anyways, so I got that, and then I got myself the latest. What the heck's it called? Super Mega Baseball. There's
Mm.
the series has been around for a little while. It's kind of like the last arcade baseball that's still around. Like there's, when it comes to baseball games, there's pretty much just uh the show, which is like your simulated baseball experience. And then RBI baseball, they tried to bring back for a little while, but it was always kind of like, it was never very good. It was kind of like they kind of try to mesh like the phone gaming experience in with, and I don't know, it just really didn't. It's not very good. But this one, it's I think what's called Super Mega Baseball. It's been around for like, I got the fourth game, and it's a series by EA, and it's all cartoony animation. There's in this latest version, Like there's been 3 games. This is the 4th game now. This latest version, they actually started to introduce some real life players into it. I think David Ortiz is in it, who's a retired baseball player. But anyways, but for the most part, it's like, you know, they got male characters, female characters, big fat guys, skinny guys, all sorts of like wacky animations and that. And they're fun. It's just a fun arcade experience. Like I think the simulation stuff is great for people who want to play simulated baseball. But I really miss like arcade style gaming, you know, where it's just like fun. And, you know, you're playing a video game. It does not everything has to be a real life experience. So this series has been pretty solid. I usually pick up the games cheap when they go on sale, and it went on sale this time around, and it was around $7. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll wait for it to dip down to 5. And then I went and I noticed that it had a lot of some negative reviews on Steam. I'm like, oh, what's that about? And so I clicked on it because like generally the games review very well. And apparently the negative reviews are more about EA than the game itself. Apparently the series did not sell very well or did not meet their expectations. So this will be the last from the series. So I'm like, oh crap, I better buy this because EA is notorious for pulling these games down off the service. Like you can't, I even think right now, especially with like licensed baseball players in them, right? Instead of like reissuing the license to keep them going, they'll just take it down. The game is gone. You won't be able to get it. Even now, I think you can only get one on Steam. You can get 1 in 3. You can't get the second game for some reason or something like that. Anyways, I decided to pick that up because even though it was like $7, and yeah, I could play it on my Steam Deck too. It's Steam Deck verified, so I decided to grab that because that might be the last arcade baseball game for a while, unless you're into like the phone gaming stuff.
Meh.
Yeah, I'm really not into it either.
Meh.
Let's see, what else did I get? I got well, I kind of found a curator. There's curators on Steam that you can follow that will, like, it might be a reviewer or like a YouTube guy or something like that, and they'll have like a bunch of basically all the games that they've reviewed on Steam, or games that they've reviewed that are on Steam. They'll put them in like a curated list, so you can follow the games that they recommend, and if you like them or whatever. Anyways, this one guy, he just did a curated list of games from the 7th generation. So they're basically games from the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, original Wii, that are available on Steam. So I kind of been following that guy, and there's a lot of cheap games that you can get on there. So I recommend you check, because there's a lot of games that like I've always meant to play or whatever, never got around to, and then they are cheap on Steam.
Okay, give me a couple of titles. What do you got?
Okay, let me see here. I wasn't planning on talking about this. Now I have to get my Steam all set up here. Stupid Steam.
Get your Steam going.
Come on, Steam.
Well, I'll tell you the ones that got me a little excited. There's a point and click game called Thimbleweed Park that I've always wanted to play, and it's currently like $5 or something.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I think it did pretty well. There's a bunch of things that I just never picked up, like the second Hotline Miami game.
Oh,
there's an old game called Freedom Fighters that it's like 90% off.
God damn it!
There's a Warhammer game called Bolt Gun. That's the one I showed you that kind of looks like Doom.
Oh yeah,
like an old school one. That one it's still like $20, but it is discounted quite a bit. I don't know if I'd go for that yet. Then there's some old stuff. Like there's a lot of arcade games that they have, that like Capcom collection thing. They have some old beat 'em ups and stuff that I have on the Retro Pi that I sometimes go back and look at. But I keep thinking, should I just get a legitimate copy just to make myself feel better.
I mean, I don't know if you have to.
I don't have to, but when it's like $1, they got all those old Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
They got the remastered ones. Kind of curious about that. One thing that got me a little upset is I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago on Epic Games, they gave away the Castlevania collection.
Yeah, I got that.
I was like, oh, cool. I was going to get that. I had it on my wish list. Now it's free. That's great. Click on it. This is not available in your region. Because, on Steam, it's like they have it, but it has a little JP next to it. You have to get the Japanese release. I was like, come on. Just give me the free version.
Okay, so like for instance, you were wondering about that 7th generation thing. So let's see, like Alien Hominid HD.
Okay, yeah.
Old Assassin's Creed games, Sniper games, Splinter Cell games, the old Batman games, the Arkham games. Then a lot of stuff that was on like the Xbox Live Arcade and that anything that was on the arcade that's also on Steam, they just throw in here. So like anything that's been remade or remastered or whatever, like Shadow Complex, Don't Starve, Blades of Time, X-Blades, Darksider games, Flashback, Deadlight games, all the Genesis games that were on
Right.
Serious Sam, all that stuff. It's in there. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that those games are kind of older now, so you can kind of get them, pretty cheap. Like I see a lot of $1, $3, 77 cents, $1.18. Gun is still expensive for some reason. Gun was like one of the first games that came out on the 360, and that's $8 for some reason.
One thing that gets me about that Sonic Genesis collection thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is again something in my area, but they don't have Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's weird.
They have like Sonic 3D and I think Sonic Spinball.
Yeah.
But you can't get the original Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's weird. That doesn't make sense.
That's bogus.
That's, as the kids say, that's sus.
What?
They say it's sus. That's what the kids say.
Sus?
It's sus.
Rocket sus?
It's it's sus.
Is it a real thing?
Yeah. Ask your kids. Say, hey kids, do you say sus? And they'll say, Dad, you sound old. Don't say sus. I think it's short for suspicious. Sus. It's sus. I think.
Is this the new slang? Is this what I see in movies when the old person doesn't understand the young people?
This is Gen Alpha slang.
This is real?
Yeah.
Sus?
Yeah, sus.
I'm going to try it out.
You should.
Not now. I'm going to surprise you.
Anyways, I got that.
That's sus.
Mostly for the... I got that baseball. What was that? Super Mega Baseball 4. Super Mega Baseball 4 with David Ortiz. So if you want the Super Mega Baseball games, you better get them when they go on sale. Don't wait on them because they'll pull them off. So I got that for the Steam Deck. I also got Pixel Junk Monsters Ultimate. That's a tower defense game. I had that on the PSP. And now I got the Steam version and I can play that on my Steam Deck. And that is, I get sucked into tower defense games. I love those things where you just set everything up and then you say go and then the enemies come through and all the stuff you set up, just kind of wipe them out. That's my jam. Then I got Dark Sector. I had like 2 games in the modern Tomb Raider games. I had 2 of them. And they had some sort of deal with them all packaged together. And they actually, they were not going to, the way Steam does it now, like before, like if you had a couple of games in a bundle, and then you wanted to buy that bundle, like you'd have to like rebuy the games in order to get the third game. But now they got it where they take out the stuff that you already own, but you still get the discount.
Okay.
Like, like for instance, like if you bought the games individually, you might get like 75% off, right? But then they'll be like, oh, well, if you bundle all the games together, we'll give you 85% off. And it's like,
Okay.
well, I already own part 1. I already own part 2. All I need is part 3. And you'd end up having to buy 3. You wouldn't get that 85%, right? The way
Right.
they got it worked out now is that it can actually tell which games you already own in the bundle. So you click on the bundle and they'll say, oh, you just need the third game. Here you go. Here's the third game at 85% off.
That's nice.
So I got the final, I got the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I got all 3 of the Tomb Raiders now.
I think I have 1 or 2 of those, and I still haven't played any of them.
Well, well, they're fun games. They're good. I like them.
I've heard.
And then I picked up another little game called iZombie. It's like a very basic, tiny little game. It was only like 77 cents. But the idea is that it's a stealth game. It's a zombie stealth game, but you don't play a guy who's trying to hide from zombies. You play a zombie who's trying to hide from humans. And you there'll be an area and there'll be like a couple of guards, and you kind of have to sneak past the guards to get to maybe like another human, and you bite the other human, and then the other human will turn into a zombie and go and distract the guards, kind of thing. So then you can sneak through and get through. Or there might be like a bunch of humans in there, and you have to figure out how to start biting humans without getting caught, so you could start turning a bunch of them into zombies, and then eventually the whole screen spreads into zombies, and you can safely get through without getting shot. It's a clever game. It's not very sophisticated in any of the animations or anything like that, but just a fun little game that I got for the Steam Deck. So that's pretty much all I bought. It was like, I think I spent $14 on all that, so that was enough for this round. I kind of like I'll only get a few things. I've been working on just the backlog, so I don't want to buy too much. And then the thing is like you see this stuff on sale, and it's like I don't need to buy this right away unless it's Super Mega Baseball with David Ortiz,
Right?
Because there'll be another sale in another month at Christmas time. There'll be another sale.
Well, literally, yeah, in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So you can curb your enthusiasm, if you will, and not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you've experienced a couple of sales, the stuff that always goes cheap and what it kind of usually bounces down to.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see like, all right, that's 50% off, but it's always 50% off. Maybe it'll be 70% off down the line.
They also have that Jedi Fallen Order game for like $5, $5.50, but I don't know. I kind of played that a little bit on Game Pass, and I wasn't really digging it. So that's the kind of stuff that I got to stay away from. Like it's like, okay, you already tried the game. You don't really care for it.
Yeah, I thought you were done with Star Wars anyway.
Well, I mean, I would play a Star Wars game, that to be a Jedi and fly around in a X-wing and stuff like that. I'm just done with like the movies. The movies have zero appeal to me. They got nothing.
Okay.
All right. Okay, yeah. Let's get to the stupid
dumb
DVDs. Yeah, dumb DVDs. Did you want to go first?
I can. I don't have too much here. Just
I don't really have too much either. I just got some dumb DVDs that I bought.
Well, I did buy one dumb DVD, and I bought it used new. It was still in the original shrink wrap packaging.
Okay, yeah.
But I opened it up and I watched The Illusionist.
Oh, that's a Christopher Nolan joint, right?
Is it?
I think so. Is it that one? There was like...
Oh, no, you're thinking of The Prestige.
That's it. See, those movies came out like at the same time, and I get them totally confused as to which is which.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, this is 2006.
Yeah.
That was kind of around that time.
Sure. Yeah.
This is directed by somebody named Neil Berger.
Neil Burgers. Get your Neil Burger here.
I bought it because I saw it in a secondhand shop. It was like $2 or something. It was brand
Okay.
new, and it's
Okay.
the North American release. So I was like,
Oh,
oh, okay,
okay.
why not?
Yeah.
It's got Paul Giamatti. It's got Ed Norton. It's got Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
And I thought it had Jude Law, but that's actually Rufus Sewell on the back.
He does look like Jude Law. If you told me that was Jude Law, I'd believe you.
Right?
Yep.
That's what I thought. I was like, wow,
100%.
how is he not in the how is he not in the main credits here? It's not very good.
I
I
think
consider it a dumb DVD.
I remember watching both The Illusionist and The Prestige, and both of them were just not my thing.
Yeah. This one is kind of slow, kind of boring, and it has one of those endings where um instead of showing you what happens, it's somebody like figuring out what happens, and then you kind of see like, oh, well, actually, in the past, this is what happened. And I don't like when movies
Ah,
do that. When they show, oh, somebody got away. Wait, but how did they do that? Oh, let's flash back and show all these things that we didn't show you before. And it's like you're showing me like half a movie here in these
yeah.
flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't like that either. You can't cheat the viewer. The viewer has to be in
So
on some things.
I don't know if that was how it was scripted or if that was an editing decision and they said this movie's running too long or it's not paced very well. Let's do this and kind of, I don't know. It wasn't very good. I do not recommend it.
All right.
Not a dumb DVD, but a fun Blu-ray. I finally watched Creep Show. I'd never seen this before.
Okay.
It's a little anthology thing with what's his name? Stephen King, George Romero directed. Fun stuff. Not the greatest stories. I think there's a lot of Tales from the Crypt or things like that I would say were much more entertaining. But there were some good ones, and you got Leslie Nielsen in there.
Oh, I've never seen that one. I think I've seen part 2, and that was because there was a short story that Stephen King did called The Raft, and oh my god, it was so good. And I went on my way to find Creepshow 2 because they did a live action version of that short story, and yeah, the live action version of the short story was not
Well, it's
very
hard
good.
to live up to your imagination there.
I suppose, yeah.
I will say that the effects were really good. Tom Savini did the effects for this.
Okay.
And the last episode, the last installment, whatever you would call it, really creeped me out because there are bugs in it, and they were real bugs.
Ooh.
And they're
Were any
creepy.
bugs harmed in the making of this film?
I want to look that up, but I'm gonna say 100% yes.
Oh no.
Unless Tom Savini was just really good at recreating little bugs, I'm guessing quite a few got stepped on.
He might have been, but yeah.
And that's kind of it. Those are the only pickups I have. The only thing
Okay.
else I have to say is I just rewatched all the Dirty Harry movies,
Oh.
and I enjoyed 4 of them. Can you guess which one I didn't really enjoy? Well, first one is a classic. That's
Yeah, no, that's given.
Yeah.
I'm gonna This is interesting. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. My
Here
feeling.
are the titles again, just in case you need
Okay.
them.
Yeah,
Magnum Force, The Enforcer, Sudden Impact, The Deadpool.
and the Deadpool. Yeah, no, I'm good with the titles. I got
Okay.
So in my head, I remember the Dirty Harry movies kind of being a little bit diminishing returns. Like the first one is a classic. It's just Clint Eastwood just going all out on the whole, violence solves everything, apparently.
Yes.
The only thing that stops a guy with a gun is a good guy with a bigger gun. Right? Like that's the whole. And then like the second one, that's the one with Cagney or Lacey. I can't remember which one, but that was a whole thing about kind of putting women in their place.
Oh, that's the third one.
Oh, is
That's
that
the
the
third
third
one.
one?
Yeah. Second one, Magnum Force. That's
Force.
with the motorcycle cops.
Okay. Oh, right, right. Okay, yes, that one was good too. Yeah, okay. So I went. So the third one, and then Sudden Impact is the one with his wife.
No, no wife.
No, like I mean, like his real life wife, Clint Eastwood's real life wife. That blonde that's in
Oh,
Sudden Impact, that's his real life wife. That's why she
oh, okay,
appears. She appears in a bunch of his movies. But yeah,
okay.
and yeah, she was yeah, she was the psycho in that one. And then Jim Carrey was in
Dirty
the
Carrie. Yeah.
Dirty Carrey was in the Deadpool. Huh.
Yes.
So which one did you like? Which one didn't you like? I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it was Sudden Impact, the second last one. I'm gonna say that's the one you didn't like.
You are correct.
All
You are
right.
correct.
Woo!
Good for you.
I'm very proud of myself.
Dirty Harry, awesome. Magnum Force, I remember not really liking as much. I thought it kind of dragged on, but rewatching it, I was like, no, it doesn't really drag at all. It's a little obvious where they're going to go with what's going on. But still, I thought it was enjoyable, and there were lots of nice little touches. There's a great shot. Sorry, a little spoiler. Where there's a shooting contest they have at the police station. An annual shooting contest,
Oh
and
yeah.
Harry Callahan's going through, and they get tied. It's like they do like the shoot the target thing. Then they have to go through you walk through the town, and the things pop out. You like shoot the bad guy, don't shoot the good guy, shoot the bad guy. And he's like shoot, 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 shoot. And at the very end, he shoots a cop. It's like,
Right.
oh, he lost the thing, but no, he did that on purpose. A little symbolic there.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. The Enforcer, I really liked. That's the one with Tyne Daly. That's the one where he gets the female partner.
Yeah.
There's some great comedy moments in that one.
Yep.
Sudden Impact. I'd have no problem with the story. It was just the execution. Harry Callahan is separate from the main storyline for like the first half of the movie. He doesn't really get involved with what's going on with his wife
Mm-hmm.
character until like the middle of the film.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and I can see what they're going for with the basically it's about justice over law, with what you're saying of
Right. Right.
violence solves everything
Right.
kind of. And you can see what they're doing, but it's like he has nothing to do. He's not investigating that case at all. He's doing completely different stuff for the first half of the movie. And then it kind of comes together very late for me. So I thought it was just a little sloppy. And it's surprising because that's the one he directed, and he's a pretty good director.
Yeah, I think he just was kind of blinded by love. I remember his wife shouldn't have been in that movie. That was not like I don't think she was a strong enough actress to pull off that role, because that role was a little there's a little deeper. It needed an actor who I think who could pull off like it wasn't a simple one-dimensional character, and I don't know. That's what I remember. Anyways, it's been a little while since I've seen them, and then I remember the
Yeah.
Deadpool being good, but there was something about the Deadpool that was a little
Well,
off.
it's a little odd. I did like the Deadpool more than I thought I would, because that's basically all I remembered. It's like, oh, that's the one with Jim Carrey playing a weird rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
Which actually his parts in the movie are pretty good.
Yeah.
His introduction scene when they're shooting like the music video is fantastic. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. It is very odd to hear him lip syncing Guns N' Roses, though.
Yeah. At that time, that song I guess wasn't known.
Maybe they didn't expect that to become one of the
big,
most
huge hit.
iconic songs of the 80s.
Yeah.
But kind of weird. And I forgot Liam Neeson was in it also.
Oh, that's
So to
right.
have
Yes.
Liam Neeson and Jim Carrey, who went on to be these huge superstars,
Yeah.
being supporting characters in this movie, it feels a little strange. But overall, the movie was kind of fun. And I think the Harry movies evolved kind of nicely over the years because the first three were like early to mid 70s and they
Yeah,
very much feel like 1970s films. But by the time you get to the Deadpool, which was 88, it's like it was definitely more of an 80s action movie. So
absolutely.
it
Yeah.
kind of it evolved well enough with the times. There's also a great car chase scene involving a remote controlled car.
Yep.
And it's just a lot of fun watching that little car make those huge jumps over the San Francisco hills.
Yeah. Which was,
So,
I think that was kind of aped in, not aped, but well, yeah, aped in Death Wish 5. I think Death Wish 5 also had a remote
oh,
control.
I've never seen Death Wish 5.
Oh, you're missing out, and you're also not missing out.
Well, as long as you got Death Wish 3, you're in a good
Death Wish
place.
3, that is chef's kiss right there. That is perfection. There's... Okay, well that's
That's
pretty.
it. Yeah,
I don't think
that's
you
kind of all I
had
watched.
too many dumb DVDs in there. That was
I had one.
solid.
I had one.
One,
I
yeah.
just wanted to connect with you on some level.
Okay. Well, okay. So my first one isn't really that dumb. It's just I bought it for a dumb reason because I'm just so confused with the stupid Night of the Living Dead movies. I need them explained to me like every 2 weeks.
Well, have
I
you
don't
watched
understand.
any of them?
No. Well, I did. I've watched Night of the Living Dead. That's the first one I have right here,
Okay, cool.
digitally remastered. I have watched this one. I really enjoy it. I like it. And
Yeah,
then I
that's
have
great. That's not a dumb DVD. That's
no,
great.
no, no. We're getting to it. And then I got
Okay,
Night of the Living Dead, right?
that's the remake.
That's
Yeah,
just the remake from 1990 or something like that. Still good.
with Tony Todd, who recently passed away.
And then we got Day of the Dead.
Okay,
You know, I've
You
showed
showed me- I
this
have that
before.
exact copy. Yes.
Yes, right. Everybody has to copy me and buy what I buy. That's okay. That's all good. So this is the original Day of the Dead, and then I have the remake of Dawn of the Dead with
Right.
Ving Rhames.
Yes, and that one they always give you a cover where you can't tell what actors are in it
No,
to make you think you're getting the original Dawn of the Dead.
yeah. I always look for Ving Rhames' name. I don't recognize. Well,
Yes,
Sarah
yes.
Polley, she's a Canadian actress, but I don't know. Jake Weber, is that someone I should know? I don't know. Mickey
Mackay
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Mackay Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer. He's done a few things.
All right. Well, anyway, so it's good. So then when I'm out looking at DVDs, I see a name for these movies, and I never know like which ones do I need and all that. And I have them on the list, but I just
You got to
saw
just
this.
tattoo it on your arm.
It just looks so gross, but it had Ving Rhames' name on it, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll just get this. So I got this stupid Day of the Dead. The need to be fed, the need to feed, I guess, with Nick Cannon, Ving Rhames, and Mina Savarni. It's just a remake.
That
Day of the Dead.
is. I have no idea. I guess they're just going off the title, but you got Ving Rhames in there again?
Yeah. Anyways, it was $4.
I know there are a couple of like later releases, but
well, the one
does
need
George Romero have anything to do with that?
I don't know. It says on the cover, directed by Steve Miner, screenplay by Jeff Reddick. Oh, based on the motion picture Day of the Dead by George A. Romero. Okay. Well, I guess it is.
I think there's also one called like Day of the Dead Bloodlines or something like that.
I don't know. I know I need the original Dawn of the Dead so I can actually watch all these again.
Night, Dawn, Day. That's what you need.
But I need Dawn. I need the original Dawn where they're in the mall.
In the shopping mall, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that movie way back when I was in college. I haven't seen it since. Okay. So that was kind of stupid because I don't know what I'm doing when I'm buying these things. And I wasn't sure. But now I see that it is tied into the whole series. So at first I thought it wasn't tied into the series, but it is. Okay. So we're all good there. Okay. So I saved that one. Okay. Now here's a stupid pickup. Here's a really dumb pickup. You have on Blu-ray a movie that I want that I only have on DVD. And here's my DVD
Vanishing
copy
Point.
of Vanishing Point. You are correct.
Wow, I knew that.
You are correct. Here it is. My DVD copy of Vanishing Point, which is a movie I really like. And I was looking for this movie forever. I think there's another movie called Vantage Point that came out like
Yes.
10 years ago or whatever, and it was mass produced and nobody liked it. So it's every used store you go, I see Vantage Point. I think, oh, it's Vantage Point. And oh, it's Vantage Point. Ah, that stupid movie. So I eventually found this at a record show, a vinyl record show, and somebody was selling DVDs off to the side. Like they had all their vinyl records out and they're like, oh, let's just throw out these DVDs. And I found a copy of it for like $5. And I bought it because I'm like, I finally found that movie. Then I'm at Value Village and I can't help myself. I finally, after years of looking for the movie, and I have it already, I find myself a second copy. And for some reason I buy it. I'm like, why am I buying this? It's
okay, you bought it knowing that you have the copy,
I knew I had
you forgot you had
No,
it?
I knew I had it. I just said to Sarah, like, look, it's Vanishing Point. I was looking for this movie forever. I already have a copy, but now I need another copy just in case. And it was only $4. A fool in his money. There's $4 Value Village for a movie I already have.
I can understand that though. If you find a movie that's kind of obscure,
yeah,
and you get it for a good price, even if you already have it, there are movies I would do that for. There are certainly things, if I found another copy of, some movie that's kind of hard to get, sure, get another copy.
It's stupid. It's still stupid. But so like the entire drive home, I'm like, oh, I hope I like when I find it, like I find something different. Like maybe it's a variation, at least that, but there's no variation. It's the exact same thing. The only thing is like the color
cover looks a little different.
The color is a little bit different. Like it's
Okay,
kind of hard to see on the camera. It's
coming through.
It's a little more dramatic on the camera. Like this
It's
one's
not
dark.
a sun faded thing. It's definitely purposely.
No, I don't think so. There's just a little different color. Like it might have been like this was like earlier on the line and then this was printed later. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, so I got 2 copies of Vanishing Point for some stupid reason.
There you go.
That's
or you could leave one upstairs, one downstairs. So whenever you're in the mood, one's at arm's reach.
You never know, right? You don't have to go up or down those stairs. Here's another dumb DVD that I got just because I looked at it and I actually looked at it and I said, I want this because it has Wonder Woman in it. And then I convinced Sarah that
Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Well, in my world, there's only one.
There's only one Wonder Woman. Sure.
So I got this stupid collection of 2 DVD movies on one disc, and they're both like made for TV junk garbage. One is called Born to Be Sold. The other's called Sandcastles with Bonnie Bedella.
Okay.
And also starring Jan Michael Vincent.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got this
to be sold.
So I looked at it and I'm like, I want this because this looks so stupid. And I
don't think Sarah, you can get away with a title like that anymore.
I told
to be sold.
I told Sarah, just read the descriptions of these, and she read the descriptions like, yeah, we're getting this. So I haven't watched it yet. Of course not. But yeah, for $4, I got myself.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta, go fishing and see what's out there.
Now here is my last dumb DVD. So you might know this, Richard, but I am a Star Trek fan. And in my Star Trek fandom, I've ended up collecting a bunch of Star Trek movies on DVD.
Hey, nice.
This is the set that Josh gave me.
Oh, that's the all double.
Yeah.
Sets.
All the
that
double.
Is pretty.
Yeah, the double DVDs. And I've actually
really could have tried to make that first one match the rest of
them. I know. Well, it was the director's cut. So
yeah, but still like a little uniformity. Remember the VHS one that had the Enterprise across like the 6
Yes. I almost bought that the other day because I saw it, but it was kind of like ratty. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get that. anyways, when I go to I look for these movies when I go um to the DVDs, because if I find them out there, there are still some that I'm missing the insert for. So like I'm missing the insert for
Ah,
Star
okay.
Trek 2. So I go and I see if I can find the insert, and then I put it into another DVD that I'll buy, and then I'll get the insert. So I need two. I think I just need Wrath of Khan. I think I've gotten them the rest. But take my word for it. I think I just need the Wrath of Khan insert. So, of course, I'm not a fan of the Next Generation movies, but I do have in my collection. I got the same double Generations, and I got the
Mm-hmm.
same double of First Contact,
Mm-hmm.
and the double of Insurrection. Right,
Oh boy.
and
Now,
then I
did
got
your
myself.
OCD take over?
I got myself like I already have Nemesis. I have Nemesis on this. This is just a regular standard,
Mm-hmm.
one disc version. I don't like this movie at all. I think it is god awful. And happy with this. I don't need anything else. Just, I don't need a version of Nemesis to match these. I got this. Just
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But when you go out shopping and you're at Valley Village and you see it there for $4, you do dumb things and you buy
Yeah.
yourself stupid Nemesis for no
Well,
reason.
hey, you have their behind the scenes footage and stuff. You got a
That's
couple of
there. This is a more extensive version of this. Absolutely,
yeah.
there's more, and then there's like all the menus and stuff like that. They did put a lot of work and effort into these versions of the films, but
Mhm.
the movie sucks. Why? Like, why do I care?
Well, you might want to watch some of the behind the scenes, like say, "Oh, look at that set. Look how they constructed it." Or there's an interview with Brent Spiner, and he said some things.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I should have saved my $4 and looked for more Beverly Crusher figures.
Oh, sure.
Anyways, those are my dumb DVDs that I bought. I'm like, what are we going to talk about this episode? And I'm like, oh, I bought these DVDs, and I looked at them, like, these are all stupid. I bought a bunch of stupid DVDs.
Well, yeah, I mean that is a subcategory that I think we all know about because we've all gone out and bought like the thing that well, it's kind of it's in the wheelhouse of what you're collecting, but it's a little adjacent. It's kind of
I
well,
mean, yeah, well, it's the price too, right? Like if this was $12.99, there's no way I'd buy it. I'd be like, no, no, thanks.
oh
But
yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I have bought a lot of things, because they're just super cheap.
yeah,
And, sometimes you find that diamond in the rough, but a lot of times it's just meh.
so if anyone needs a copy of Nemesis, I think I can get rid of that, and I do have an extra copy of Vantage Point, so we can do a trade or something like that.
Do you want to trade for a copy of The Illusionist?
No, I
Well,
think
do
I'm
you see
good.
that eyeball though? Look at that.
Oh my goodness. What is that called? That's
Moving.
called the.
It's one of those little hologrammy sticker
Is it
things.
just just the stickers a hologram, not the
Yeah,
entire?
just this
Okay.
little thing. Can I just say, by the way, I hate the way North America packages DVDs. I know this is an old like AVGN rant about the stickers and all that kind of
Mm.
stuff, but my goodness, like somebody put a sticker like over her face here.
Oh.
When they ripped it off, it kind of destroyed the package. And then
Oh.
they put these little sticker things on here. It's like it's neat, but I think I might keep it just for this though. That is fun.
Oh, that's not that. Somebody
Well,
just put that on there. That's not like part of the movie. Uh.
um, I no, I'm pretty sure it was part of the packaging. I
Oh,
just
okay.
don't understand why it's here.
Right.
But
Right.
I've got some movies that I bought where it's got the big like Barnes and Noble sticker on
Yeah. Yeah.
the cardboard cover, the sleeve, and everything. It's like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Show some consideration for the product.
No respect. No respect. Okay,
Oh,
well, that's
I forgot one. Sorry, no, just it's my old Hot Shots DVD, which I have combined. I put my Hot Shots 2 in there because it was a rental disc.
oh yeah.
I'll just say I watched that not too long ago, and Hot Shots 2 Part 2,
Hmm.
probably one of the best sequels ever made, in my opinion.
What about Hot Shots? How does that hold up?
I like Hot Shots. I like Part 2 better.
Okay.
Um, I think it's interesting how they were able to take a goofy, nonsensical comedy that really has, the bare bones of structure. It's just gag after gag, one of those Zucker
Yeah.
things. Yeah, this was Jim Abrams directed. But to make a sequel that is kind of completely different. It's tied in just in the fact that it's the same character, but one is a Top Gun parody and the other is a Rambo parody. It's like, yeah, same but different. That was a great way to do it.
Well, I mean, when you're going over the top like that, you might as well just go for it, right? Like, why hold back? Just
Yeah,
have fun with it, you know? Cool.
that's it. It's great. That's a dumb DVD, but it is a dumb DVD in the best way possible.
I do need to rewatch those movies. It's been a very long time since I've seen them. So,
They're great. There's always one or two jokes that are pretty dated, something of the time that
yeah.
you may not remember, but for the most part, excellent. And it really helps that the two movies that they parodied are very well-known movies, so
Right, right.
everything's fresh in head.
And Sarah and I were actually just talking about how there are no more big comedies like that anymore in the theater anyways. You don't
Mhm.
get like the big blockbuster comedy like The Naked Gun or Something About Mary or Meet the Parents. They just, I mean, like you got the Deadpool movies that are
Mhm.
have elements of comedy in them, but those are big action films, or even the
Sure.
Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that that have comedy in them, but they're more action films. So there's not like just like when was the last time there was a big comedy film released in the theater? I
I don't
can't.
know. They don't come over here, so I couldn't tell you. I don't hear about
Yeah,
comedies. So I would guess part of that is just that they're not making as many.
well, I think like it's pretty much a reaction to people's televisions and home theaters and whatnot getting better, and access to movies has become a lot more easier. So you don't
Mhm.
have to go to the movie theater to watch a comedy. You can just sit and watch it at home. Whereas like a big action film, you might feel like as if you're missing out on something, right? You're missing out on the
Right.
experience with the big explosions and all that. So that's why they mostly stick to those, but you don't get the comedies. You get them on streaming services, like even the last Sacha Baron Cohen movies. Those have come out on streaming services. Those were big, huge, money making films, like the Borat. Borat was a
Mhm.
huge money maker. Second Borat, he can't even get into the theaters, just direct to streaming. Adam Sandler used to be bank every year, crank out a comedy every year, whether you like him or not. He would crank
Sure.
out a
Mhm.
comedy every year, make a ton of dough. Now they just direct to streaming. Kind of wild. Kind of how
Eh,
things change, just like that.
well, that's why you
Yeah.
watch. You get your DVD copies at 227. You sit down, you
Yes.
just laugh at those.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I think we talked enough. That's it. Thanks, Sauce, for being here for a split second before we started talking about Star Trek toys. Then he got
Well,
out of
he
here.
was here just long enough to insult Star Trek, and then he
Yeah.
left.
And that was it. Junk. Goodbye. I don't blame him. Hey, Star Trek's not your thing. It's not your thing. It's fine. It's all good. Uh, yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna go back and see if I'm actually gonna buy something off of Steam.
I think you should find something nice and cheap. Go
I
find that curator from the
I
seventh
got that
generation.
itch. I got that
Here's
itch.
the other thing
I
too.
need
Is
to scratch it.
like for instance, like the Maw. Remember, you know that twisted pixel game, the Maw.
The Maw.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
like that game is cheap. It's like $2 and something cents or whatever. And then it's like I have the game on the Xbox 360, but am I going to fire it up and play that game on there, or when I could just play it on the PC? But then am I going to play it again? You know? And it's like, well, I think if you're thinking about it too much, just wait till the next Steam sale.
Yeah, well, there are a couple of things that. What is this? Title got me something called "Kill the Crows." I don't know. Interesting title.
Okay, we're done. Okay, thanks everybody for for listening and watching. Goodbye.
Bye.